Roll Tide, everyone. Alabama 29, South Carolina 22, and an absolute nail biter. Welcome to the Bama Standard post-game show. Before we get started, do a few things for me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, live chat. Bring it tonight. We got a lot to talk about. If you're watching the replay, get in the comment section below. Show us some love there. I got an all-star panel tonight to help us make sense of what we just saw. We got the illustrious, never short of things to say, Daniel Pettey. Then just below him, a man who tries to keep me sane during the games, is definitely earned extra crown and his extra diamond in his crown in heaven, Johnathan Lewis.
What's going on, fellas? Roll Tide, my goodness. I think I got hair still.
And last but not least, we had to bring a superstar in, former Alabama offensive lineman, former All-SEC offensive lineman, former Philadelphia Eagle, Alonzo Ephraim. Roll Tide, dude.
Roll Tide. What's going on, guys?
Man, who would have thought? Well, honestly, if we are real with ourselves, we kind of felt going in that this would be a little bit of a test. Everything's been going too perfect, right? 4 wins in a row, top 15 opponents, arguably playing like the best team in the country. Would it be possible we run into a little bit of a buzzsaw? Nah, couldn't happen. Tried to explain that to Marvin Constant earlier this week. He wouldn't have any parts of it. Well, it happened today, and when everything went absolutely wrong, Alabama still overcame all their mistakes and was able to come away with a dramatic victory. But you don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from my wonderful cast, and what we like to do here is we like to give our immediate reactions. Start it off, Pettey, and then we'll go to Johnathan and Alonzo.
I'll be honest. It was looking like a loss there. So I know it wasn't pretty. It's not the way you want to do it, but you got the dub, and it's 1-0 and on to the bye week and get better. And I think Alonzo said it best before we came on in the green room. Sometimes you kind of maybe need that wake up call. I know the fans didn't enjoy it. You had to get the Pepsi out through most of the game, but got the W. I'll bring back later. I'm going to let everybody talk. It just kind of reminded me of the Arkansas game several years ago. Huge favorites, go on the road to Fayetteville. Had to find a way with a Landon Collins interception late to seal the deal. Didn't play out the same, but just kind of the same way. A game you expected to win big, but had to win. But you got the W, and that's all that matters.
Absolutely. Johnathan, tell me what you saw, man.
So first thing I want to say is Jeremy even mentioned already, Johnathan said it's not a trap game. This wasn't a trap game. A trap game is where you don't perform where you normally do and you just overlook an opponent. Don't let the record fool you. South Carolina still has LaNorris Sellers. They have that record, in my opinion, due to Mike Shula. And the offensive play calling has a lot to do with it this year. I won't get into that too much, but I'm going to leave it at this. If you go look at what has Ty Simpson done all year? Throw for around 250 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions, 50% on third down. We did that in this game. Go look. So, no, this wasn't a trap game. This was merely a game that we just had to scratch and claw to win. It was just the difference between maturing from last year to this year. We don't win that game last year, right? Because we've matured and gotten better as a team as a whole. And this defense, like someone already pointed out, can travel. I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely. Lonzo, man. Didn't talk to you during the game, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts here. What did you see? I'm sure the offensive line automatically caught your eye. Not their best game. Yeah. Man, it seems like when we needed protection the most is when they struggled the most. It wasn't a good showing by an offensive line that when pass protection needed to be shown, we had no issue whatsoever. Today, man, South Carolina's front seven brought it. Yeah. Couldn't establish the run. That's something we needed to do. It seems like every time the ball was handed off, they were already in the backfield. What did you see, man? Give me your reactions to everything you saw today.
I'm going to be honest. I like that. I like the fact that South Carolina brought it to us. I like the fact that we made our mistakes. I like the fact that they out-physicaled us in certain plays. I like that because we still got out of there with a win. And anytime you can go into a hostile environment in the SEC, week in, week out, we are one score conference pretty much.
Yeah.
So, when you can go into somebody's house in their backyard and they hit you with their best shot, because South Carolina played a hell of a game. It takes two teams. And South Carolina played a hell of a game. And they did a great job with coaching over there and having a game plan. So, that's what you expect. You expect to compete at the highest level. And when you're at the top, everybody's going to give you their best. So I appreciate the game tonight. And I'll be honest, this game here reminds me of the season that I watched. I'm not trying to make that comparison to Auburn, obviously, but I remember watching the year of Cam Newton against the game against Clemson, and Clemson and them had him beat, but he found a way to win. And as the season went on, they continued to find a way to win, and they won the national championship. That's kind of reminiscent of that to me, because we're finding ways to win. We're winning together. We might not be playing our best game, but when when the clock says 0-0-0, we have 1 point more than the other team, and that's the goal. So I'm excited about it. I look forward to it. I think we need to get back to work this week. However, it's always better to come back on a work week and make corrections after a win than it is after a loss. So this was just a good game. We needed it. We really needed it. Like, we've been handling the other teams pretty well, dominating from the start to the finish. We needed to overcome some adversity to build the character of our team.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight, thanks, South Carolina. You just helped create a bigger monster.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
And the term that's been used the past several days and even weeks has been Alabama has been battle tested. It's hard to argue that when you have 4 ranked wins back to back to back to back. But I don't think you really truly are battle tested until you get to the ugly, disgusting game where things just don't work in your favor. And by all actuality, at points in the game, you really had no business winning. But then you somehow find a way to do it. And I kind of felt like we were going to encounter this just because of what we've been through. And then the bye week's coming. My gosh, the bye week could not get here fast enough. And yeah, we got a lot of time to work on things. We got a lot of time to rest and heal up and get some guys back too. But I think this game was important to Coach DeBoer. I want you guys to kind of chime in on that. The biggest knock against him was that he can win the big games, but then when it comes to winning on the road against unranked opponents, he tends to fold. I go back to 2005 when Mike Shula was leading Alabama to South Carolina, and it was one of those games where Shula needed to have that signature win, and that was against the old ball coach, Steve Spurrier, and we go over there and we steamrolled them. Fast forward to today, I think this was a signature win for Coach DeBoer, a different kind of aspect where – yeah, you've proven you can win the big ones, but then when things come to you that maybe you've struggled with and have got constantly put down for not doing well in, you got to deliver. And he delivered tonight. But Pettey, where do you stand? And then let's go to Johnathan. Let's go to Alonzo.
And I agree. Kind of Alonzo was talking about this is the win you need because it's one of those galvanizing. Because a couple minutes to go in the game, it looked like you weren't going to win the game, and that changes your season completely with what's left on the schedule. Because you talk about margin for error and trying to make it to the playoffs or whatnot. There's no team that wins a title that wins every game clean, and it's better to, like you said, go back and work on things and fix the things that are broken with a W than an L, because then it's harder to fix them, because then you got kids questioning things, and maybe you're starting the doubt creeps in. Well, you win that, and it's like your last. It's like the golf analogy. You forget all the bogeys, but if you birdie the last hole, you're like, I birdied that last one. Well, Bama just walked off with a birdie. They birdied the last one. So the rest of that shitty round doesn't matter today. But at the end of the day, it's a win. And I agree. You go back through every season that this team's ever won a title, all the way back to 92 when they were down at halftime to Southern Mississippi. There's been ugly wins, but a win's a win. And at the end of the day, you can learn so much more. And it's so much better than getting on that plane with the law. So, yeah, it is good for Kalen to do this. It's more consistency. It's consistency of winning this league. This league isn't about getting up for the big games. Again, a lot of coaches can do that, win the big game. It's that next week where you play the off-brand SEC team on the road that becomes a hornet's nest all of a sudden. That you find a way to win, and that this victory is bigger than any of the previous 4 to me because of that.
Yep. Jonathan, our fans are ready to run Kalen DeBoer out of town. They want him to prove that he could win against an opponent that wasn't a marquee opponent. I think he proved something today, and I think that also did something for the team as a whole. What's your take from the victory versus South Carolina in terms of what it means to DeBoer?
I mean, obviously, as a fan, this, in my opinion, was a must-win game. I keep saying it. I would have way less faith, like I keep talking about, if we didn't get slapped around against Florida State, right? But so I felt like, okay, this was a game. You can ask Justin. From the beginning, was when Justin, he gets nervous, he gets that anxiety during the games. My brother, calm down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is not the same team as before. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we have to have patience with this team. Ty Simpson has looked immaculate the past 4 games. Yeah. So, yeah, when he doesn't look perfect, you got to give the dude some time. As fans, we want to overblow that. And the fact is this, and I know all the people want to jump on me because they say I was disrespecting South Carolina by saying I think we should beat them by more than 10 points, which I still feel that way today because I felt like we took South Carolina's best punch, best play calling Mike Shula's called all year, and we still beat them by playing statistically one of our worst games all year. So, I mean, I still feel confident in that. I mean, I don't know any other way to put it other than I feel like obviously we needed to win. If we're going to be taking serious, if you want to bring that fear back and everything else, you got to start winning on the road against these unranked teams. Because what were we before this? Like 1-4 or 1-3, right?
1-4.
1-4. So it was
on the road. Terrible.
Yeah, and I have full. This is the first time, like I would say 2 weeks ago, where I have full confidence in this team. Now, if this would have been, if we would have played this way at the first half against somebody else, like we'll say Tennessee or something like that, I would be way more nervous. But we knew South Carolina's tendency. And Jeff, the stat guy, who will be on one of my live streams tomorrow night, said it best. South Carolina does what South Carolina does, right? And they did it tonight.
Absolutely. Hey, I'll remind everyone who's watching on other platforms, this is streaming too. Come over to our channel, the Bama Standard Network. Subscribe, like this video that you're watching right now. Be a part of the family. Alonzo, as a former player, what does it mean to you when your coach can win a game like this? Like I said, as fans, we don't think away the same way that you do. The player does. We tend to overreact. And I think they were just waiting to have a reason to complain. But as a player, what does a game like this mean to you when your coach can win that gritty game, especially when he's had a lot of controversy surrounding him beforehand?
I mean, this Alabama team just leveled up. They just leveled up. That's just flat out. They leveled up, man. They went into a hostile environment. They were controlling the game at first. Not the typical game they normally had. But that's to be expected. Like I said, the SEC is one of the most dominant conferences from top to bottom. Right. So anytime you can go in there, take somebody's best shot, and you not throwing your best shot. We didn't throw our best shot.
Exactly.
However, we still end up outboxing them, per se. Right. So I think that they just level up. I think that just proves to them that they can go in anywhere at any time and beat anybody as long as they play together, especially when things aren't going their way. See, that's what you need. That's the sign of a championship team. A championship team is when, you know, everything's not going your way, but you still find a way to win. And that's what they're building. And I'm excited about it because coming off a 4-game, you know, ranked opponents, and then, you know, you go into the house of an unranked opponent. And like you said, South Carolina was a good team. They was one of the picked to finish one of the tops in the SEC this year. They've had some mishaps over there, but it's still a good team with good players. And every week, you've got to bring your hat. Mm-hmm. Every week. So for me as a player looking at this, man, I like the fact that we leveled up. We know how things don't go our way, but we're always been taught and trained to continue to fight, and everything will take care of itself. One play at a time, thought process. So that means you win one play at a time, and then when you look back up, you won 10 plays in a row, then that's the equal that you win, and that holds true. So I'm excited for this team. I'm thrilled. So fans, any fans watching, you listen to me. This is coming from a player, okay? Know the ins and outs. We play the game. You know, we deal with a lot of different things you guys don't really understand. However, we're in good hands. That's what I can tell you. We're in good hands. Get ready, buckle up, strap in tight, get ready to enjoy the rest of the ride for the season. Because this is the Bama team we've been looking for. I believe that with Caitlin, man, he's able to exert himself all over the place even more now that he don't have to focus so much on offense. So I think that's a huge difference from last year to this year. And then he has somebody that he trusts wholeheartedly. So I don't know. I love the makers of this team. I love the
Yeah.
adversity that we overcoming. I like the fact that we don't look phased. Now that Florida State game, yeah, we look phased. We look scared. We look timid. We didn't play physical at all. Yeah, South Carolina out physical us on some plays, but guess what? We hit back.
Yep.
But
So
it counted.
that's all you want to see.
Yeah. And one thing that I saw, Pettey, you mentioned this, I believe, days before, that at some point Ty Simpson was going to have that off game.
Mhm.
And was Alabama's answer going to be when he wasn't Ty? He wasn't the Heisman Trophy finalist everybody was projecting him to be. Well, I thought we saw a tremendous showing by him today in terms of his character. And when it mattered most, he was able to direct Alabama to win. And I knew that at some point we've got to be balanced. We've got to have a rushing attack. We didn't have it the entire game, but I guess it's basically have a rushing attack when it matters the most. And that last drive was when we were able to run the ball, capped off by a 25-yard touchdown by Jeremy Bernard. But Johnathan, Pettey, Alonzo, what did you see from Ty today when he faced adversity and we still had no run game for the majority of the game? Start us out, Pettey, and then go to Johnathan and Alonzo.
Kind of the same script, different page, but with Ty, it just was a team that it wasn't ugly, it wasn't pretty, and you're not going to play every game beautifully. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to look perfect. All the way up to the NFL. I mean, Josh Allen lost to the Falcons on the road the other night. Games like this, but it's the way he kept fighting on the road. You got the student section is starting to cram in and get louder right there in that end zone you're going into because they're ready to rush the field. You can feel all the momentum and the weight of that stadium coming down on you. And no, you haven't. You've left several balls short on the deep ball. The deep ball wasn't there today. But he kept playing and kept playing and kept playing and kept making plays. And like you said, when there's no room for a run game, and it wasn't just the front seven. I thought South Carolina designed a lot of exotic blitzes today. They came from the corner on one of the big ones that hit him. And they were coming from all over the place. I thought they had a great game plan to get Ty off. And like you said, when you're not running the ball, it's all on you. And then you're down two receivers. Latsier's out. Horton's out. That makes a difference. And it was Bernard kept making plays and kept making plays. But, yeah, I don't mean to ramble on, but it was you don't have your fastball sometimes as a pitcher. I hate to keep using baseball and that. Well, I used golf earlier. Now I'm going to use baseball. You don't always have your fastball, right? And sometimes you got to you just got to get in there and grind and make it work for 7 innings. And you might not be pitching that shutout, but you win that game, 4-3. Well, that was Ty today. He didn't have his fastball, but man, he kind of just grinded it out. And that's what winners do. I hate to keep going back. It's just Bama. Look, man, Bama prior to Saban and just the joyless murder ball of all that crap. Even in Bama's best years, it wasn't always pretty. It was just kind of that lunch pail workman type, blue collar football, bust you in the damn mouth, beat you 17-10 into submission, and go on to the next week. And we got away from that. I thought that was that today. You saw a lot of that from the defense, a lot of bend, don't break, a lot of the linebackers. Jefferson I thought he brought it. That was one of the best games I've seen Justin Jefferson play was today. And it's just guys making plays all the way to the end. And I know we're talking about Ty, but that was kind of it was just a lunch pail game, man. And Ty was leading the lunch pail charge.
Like that, Johnathan.
It's going to be basically stay the course, right? So Ty never wavered from what he was supposed to get in there and do. I think more than anything, even though he could have easily been yelling, complaining at the receivers because we had 6 total drops in this game, by the way. You know what I mean? So there was so much that you could say he came off of. But no, Ty does what he's been doing all year. Even if you go back to the Florida State game, it was the same Ty, in my opinion, from a perspective of him getting up, knocking the cobwebs off, because the front seven from South Carolina was there to make a point. Dylan Stewart's a NFL first rounder here very soon, right? So in the way they used him exotically, like Pettey said, especially stunting inside, you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe we didn't adjust to that, honestly, in the first quarter and a half. We made the adjustments and slowed him down a little bit. But my goodness, can we just establish some sort of run game in the first, like, 3 quarters? Something. I'm not asking for a lot, but, like, something. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Alonzo. Oh, dramatic
What I
pause.
said was so great it took his breath away.
It did. Dramatic pause brought to you by Boost Mobile.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, and last year, I think it shows you how far we've come in terms of quarterback, not just on playmaking ability, but being able to rise to the occasion under pressure. No slight to the former quarterback, but you saw when things got hairy, he tended to fold and would kind of go within his little hole and hide out there for a long period of time. And sometimes he'd come back, sometimes he wouldn't. But Ty, like you said, stays the course and just waits and waits and fights and doesn't quit until the whistle is blown. From that aspect, he brings something to the table that we were begging for last year, and the team rallies behind him.
Yep.
So when we get Alonzo back, we will continue on with him. But I want to turn it over now to positives and negatives of the game. There's a lot today that we can definitely choose from, but we got to go with what stood out the most. We can talk about the plays that ultimately define this game. Start us out, Jonathan, and we'll go to Pettey.
You know, I'm not trying to take anything away from South Carolina, but one of my buddies, Jeff, the stat guy who's on Fanatic Sports Network, me and him, who's a huge South Carolina fan, by the way, we're messaging the whole time. And when it came down to the very end, when the game was tied, he literally messaged me, pressure bust pipes. In South Carolina, that's why they lose games. They find ways to lose these games. They'll do something stupid. And when that fumble happened, I'm like, yep, that's it. So it's going to come back. That's the positivity for me. Is last year, this was a game we lose. This year, these are games we win, right? We've matured. We've gotten better. Ryan Grubbs is a better play caller. Nick Sharon is a great, in my opinion, so far. It seems that way, QB coach, right? So it feels like we got this team where we want them. And hats off to Deontay Lawson. Hats off to Justin Jefferson. I get it. People want to burn some of these guys at the stake. But I got to tip my hat to the defense. I already did it at the very beginning. I'll do it again. This defense definitely travels. It's a true bend, don't break. We're going to give some plays up. We get that. And LaNorris Sellers, like I said, is going to be an up-and-coming first-round draft pick, just like a lot of these guys Dylan Stewart on the defense is. But the negatives for me, I'm going to say is, I'll be honest with you, there's not a lot of negativity other than what we already kind of knew, right? The front seven was getting to Ty a little bit quicker than normal, but we were also playing a little bit different ball. We weren't throwing the screens early on to Riley and stuff like that, or the blitzes down. So if anything, I guess the negative would be, wasn't super impressed with the game plan when we started the game, right? And it definitely seemed to lack some enthusiasm. But if you've been to South Carolina, to Columbia, to Williams-Brice, you know that place is an environment you have to visit. It gets up for every single game. They had a streak of sold-out games when they were, like, terrible, right? So, that's kind of to be expected. But I guess the only other negativity is I still feel like Ryan Williams is still a little injured. There were some routes he was running. You could see the pain is still a little bit there. So I want to see him get a little bit healthier. Other than that, I mean, that's all I really have. I can sit here and ramble for the next 2 hours, but I won't do that.
All right, Pettey, it's your baton. Take it, sir.
I'll start with the negative. It's the glaring one. It's the run game. The fact that and on a game when a defense is being so aggressive, that's a game where I feel like you can kind of bust some runs and kind of get, you pop them up the middle and kind of get them on their heels and take advantage of that aggressiveness. And I feel like this was a day, there's just no run game. I want to see more of Hill. I know it's all about pass pro, but good God, every time that guy touches the ball, he's built like a damn Bama back. I'm sorry. And he stays upright. He's got this ability, He's got balance. Like that's all I can say. He kind of reminds me of the Ingrams type running back.
Mhm.
So I want to see him touching the ball more. I said that tonight, and he got a big 7-yard run late in the game. So negatives, obviously, you got to get the run game going to give Ty some break. Don't want to you got to give credit to South Carolina across the ball with the offensive line. This was probably one of their worst nights since Florida State, I believe. They just got 8 up tonight. But that's it. We've got to get some kind of run game. I'm not going to harp too much on the negatives on the night where you win. Some things got to get shored up on defense. The positives, Jeremy Bernard just makes plays that kid. Thank God for Jeremy Bernard coming to the school. That dude is just a player, man. He makes play after play after play. The linebackers, you mentioned it, Johnathan, have been in battle, but they kind of just played tonight, man. Justin Jefferson, 7 tackles, 1 sack. He was all over the field making hits, making that run game. LaNorris Sellers is a load, guys. That passer, he is he's not a cat like a house cat. He's a tiger. He's big and does not go down. He never goes down. And for the line, that's again, bring your lunch pail game. And man, my whole life of Alabama is making big plays and big moments. And Deontay Lawson, right there at the end, that big Tiger's running the ball, trying to get his team in field goal range to beat Alabama to rush the field. And in the middle of the scrum, you got Lawson ripping the ball out. So positives are Bama players not quitting. Not quitting in a game that looked like it looked bleak there with a couple minutes to go. Let's be real, guys. 8, you're down 8. You got to score a touchdown. Plus the 2, all that stuff, the stadium's going crazy, and you find a way just to get through the calm. So that was it, man. The perseverance of this Alabama team, that win and getting through those last few moments of this ball game versus what happened the very first week, I think will take this team so much further, like I said earlier, than any of the other wins. And like Johnathan, I don't want to ramble too far, but that was it. That was kind of an Alabama win tonight. Players making key plays when they mattered. So hats off to Lawson, hats off to Bernard. Holy hell, how do you tightrope that side? How do you do that? How do you? That's amazing.
Now, can I say one thing before you continue, Justin?
Absolutely.
I want to point this out before it jumps off my mind is I truly think if you go back and watch this game, when South Carolina took that lead and they went up by 8, I think Alabama looked over at their sideline and realized this team is down because they think they've won the game without finishing the game. And I think that's why Alabama's run game came alive. It's because South Carolina, when they showed back up on the field, they weren't ready to finish. They thought they already finished the game. I truly, when you go back and watch it, I think that had a little bit to play with it.
Yeah, absolutely did. We need to see more of Daniel Hill, like you said. Arguably, he's the best back there, and he's not one of those fancy guys. He's just a guy that will go north. We need him to go north instead of trying to stretch it out too far or try to do a little dancing just to try to get an extra few yards. No, man, he understands the assignment and he just gets the job done. He was, I believe, our leading receiver tonight. I love this kid. Y'all hit on the negatives. There's no sense of me really expounding on anything other than we got to do a better job of tackling. Of course, that's the thing that we've been plagued with all season, right, guys? And can we, for the love of God, just quit trying to strip the ball? Can we just actually tackle? Because if you're sitting there trying to rip the ball out, that's another 3 or 4 yards you allow a defender or offensive player. So other than that, no reason to continue to dive down that path. But hey, we got a sponsor who makes it happen tonight. We got Whitwheel Sports in the house. They're in the chat right now. Listen, your game day is not complete and the Tide doesn't win unless you have your very own title towel waving in the air. How do you get one? Well, that's easy. Go to www.whitwheelsports.com today. Enter the promo code STANDARD. Get you a nice discount courtesy of your favorite network, the Bama Standard Network. Yes, folks, go ahead and grab your title towel. In 2 weeks, LSU comes to town. We need the stands filled with title towels. All right, let's get down to it. Who performed the best? Who meant the most? Give me one offensive and one defensive player of the game. Start us out, Pettey, then we'll go to Johnathan.
I'm going to go with the ones earlier I said. I thought I was going to say Lawson's on the top of my head. I thought Justin Jefferson played his best game as a linebacker today. He brought it, and Bernard made plays. Someone was asking, sorry, the chat. The reason I was a little bit distracted, somebody asked in the chat, and I had to scroll to the question. Victoria Ann was asking about why did the number 1 pull back on the play on Bernard when he tight roped? Did he think he had stepped out and he was worried about getting a late hit? That was my interpretation of what happened. So that's my answer to that. Sorry. But yeah, Bernard and Jefferson are my players of the game tonight.
Johnathan, who you got?
So to answer a question, because they keep asking where Isaiah Horton was about 1:45 left in the first, I believe. He went to the locker room and came back and didn't come back in the game. He actually got injured in the first quarter. So I don't know if anybody saw that or paid attention to it, but yeah, Isaiah Horton got injured in the game actually towards the very beginning. But as far as offensive goes, man, you have to tip. I'm going to go the obvious route. I rarely do this, but it's got to go to Ty Simpson. I mean, those last couple of drives, I don't know how much more poised you can possibly be, right? To lead the team down like that. I mean, down by 8, come back. Not only do you tie the game, but you win. You know what I mean? You win the game. And then defensively, it was Deontay Lawson that forced the fumble, right? You know what I mean? So I'm going to
recovered it. It was Tim Keenan that forced it.
Okay, so I'll reverse that. I give it to Tim Keenan because, in my opinion, Tim Keenan on the line looked pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And Tim Keenan causing that fumble, I got to give it to him because without that, I don't think we possibly win the game as far as in regulation goes. So yeah, I'll give it to him.
Offensively for me, Jordan Bernard. When the game is on the line, big players make big plays. No bigger play than what he did. Defensively, hey man. Either one of those linebackers, 1A, 1B, Justin Jefferson, Deontay Lawson, there is no arguing that. Tremendous job by both. All right, let's get to the people. They came here tonight to talk about things. We're going to turn the mic over to them. We also got some super chats, so we're going to definitely show our thanks for that. We're going to start out with TG. Why couldn't Grubb call plays at the end of the first half of the game? Johnathan, you want to tackle that one?
What was I texting you? TG, I'm right with you, brother, because I was texting Justin that stuff. I said, man, where are the screen passes to slow this blitz down like we've been doing every time we've faced a team? Tennessee game was a perfect example of the last one. By the way, this is 2 games in a row where we've been outgained in yardage and won the game. Tennessee outgained us in yardage as well. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, where's the screens at? Where's the tunnel screens? The quick blips? I get it. You want to force the ball down the field, but this is the first game I can truly say in that first half, Ty was wanting to force the ball downfield when it wasn't really necessary. You had stuff underneath more open. So it was the first game where I was kind of critical on Ty in that first half for sure. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
But in some of that, got to give in part to that, man, the time of possession was so weighted towards South Carolina. We weren't getting the ball much. So when we did, like you said, we were making plays quick. So you do your question, like, what are this play calling? But hell, you're only getting a snapshot of 3 or 4 plays. And it seemed like we were turning it right back over. And then you have the weird, pick 6. So, I mean, that always skews things because it puts your defense on the field for so much longer. It's just a weird damn game where the offense could never really get in sync in that way either.
Yeah.
South Carolina did dominate in time of possession as well. If you don't look at the score and you just look at the stat sheet, you would thought that South Carolina just would have flattened Alabama, but that wasn't the case at all. Let's go to the next one. We got Tim Clark. Can we talk about the winning touchdown? Was letting Bama score good strategy? Well, I think it was.
I don't trust. I mean,
I don't think they were trying to let them score. I think they were trying to go for the field goal and hope for the miss. But
Connor Talty's not that consistent.
Yeah, you want Talty kicking. That you put the pressure on him kicking into that. I think our boy Germ just made a play. It was just weird that guy pulled off again. He's tight rope in the sideline. You can give a little bump. I don't know, man. I guess he was being too careful.
Now, Johnathan, this guy right here has been going at you in this chat because of something you did.
It's because
the previous days leading up.
Bro.
And can we please stop
they haven't been real good.
Well, I don't think, Johnathan, you were coming from a standpoint you were disrespecting them. You were just saying what was true of them based on the output on offensive side of the ball. They're one of the worst in the nation. No contest. On the defensive side of the ball, one of the worst in the nation. that comes as no slight. There's no trash talking. You're just calling it is what it is, right? A zebra's a zebra. A zebra's not a cat.
Yeah, I'm an analytical guy. There's no disrespect by saying my team should win by more than 10 points.
No, the Bama should win. Like they play that game 10 times. Bama's going to cover the spread 9 of them. That was just look. Yeah.
Well, also too, I think if Alabama has a off week before they play in South Carolina, or they're not sandwiched in between 4 ranked opponents and then LSU, I think that's a better performance overall. But we all knew going in, for us, this was going to be an ugly game, and Alabama was going to have to fight. Super chat, Brandon Maples, $20. The play calling for the 2-point conversion and the 3rd down call at the end was insane awesome. Play calling by Grubb. Roll damn Tide. Thank you so much, Brandon.
If a play call ever deserved a super chat, it's that 2-point play call.
Oh,
that
yeah.
I honestly, man, that was the thing of beauty from Grubb. I loved it. Loved the motion. Loved the ability to. It gave so many options and had so much misdirection. It was awesome.
Yeah, just to address something real quick, Coach Carl already kicked the dude out of the chat and removed him. So yeah, there's gonna be that crap's not gonna be tolerated. I don't care who you are.
I got to before I did.
Yeah, so somebody don't put racist comments in the comment section.
At all. There's no room for that.
Don't suck at life. Come on now.
This is football. There's enough negativity in the world and enough division in the world. This is a platform. It's all about everyone coming together, regardless of who they are. So yeah, don't bring that to our house.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, who's the guy we wait on every show? Every post-game show.
Don Parker, he is. I guarantee he is.
Yeah. All right, here he is, Don Parker. Let's go. Good evening, everyone, and roll tide. So, was I telling lies? I said this was not going to be easy. No lies being told, Don. And look, I think we still have our mind in a time warp that we think that joyless murder ball is supposed to be a thing every single year, but the times they are changing. And as we see every single game, it kind of resembles back in the 1990s where regardless of who it is, it's going to be a game. I don't like it, but hey. But Don, $10. I was not telling lies that this was not going to be an easy game. Happy to get the W and overcome adversity. However, Bama created its own adversity. Also factor in that South Carolina didn't back down.
Absolutely. A lot of that.
And that makes me feel good. We played one of our worst games. They played one of their best games, and we still won.
Played their best game.
Like, hats off to LaNorris Sellers, by the way. I don't know how you bring that dude down. Like, my
tiger. He's a tiger, a mountain lion. That dude's unbelievable. He really is. He's such a shifty, good runner. He's not just a scrambling, he's scrambling and he's fast. No, he knows how to run. He's the dude. If he had weapons around him, God bless.
Oh yeah, agree. Nick Harper, by the way.
Don, you were right, man. This was fight, buddy. Won the time one.
Let's go to Jason Haywood, $5. Thank you, brother. Last year, this would have been a loss. This year, we kept fighting and pulled it out. In the end, growth. Rest up. Get healthy. Roll tide.
Absolutely. It's just that it's showing the mentality of this ball club verse, and not any player, just the whole team. This is a team thing here. This is linebackers. This is Lawson, making plays, making strips, people fighting to the end. It's the whole team mentality. You got to be falling in love with the team. Again, you cannot like all the aspects of how it went down, but take that W and love the way that this team is winning football games and growing.
All right, we got Michael Knows Stocks. Do we need to reevaluate the offensive line coach?
No.
I think we could do a better job in the run game in terms of opening up holes, but as far as pass protection, I think we're pretty good. But I'd like to see a balance of the two.
I don't think we're great, but I don't think we're at the point where we need to reevaluate, because I trust The good thing about having Ryan Grubb on the staff, man, is that was his position, right? That he teached was O-line. So that's why I think our O-line looks a lot better than it did last year, is because of Ryan Grubb showing up and bringing that mentality. But no, I don't think it's that serious. And to be honest with you, there's going to be about 97 college football head coaching job openings. So good luck contending for that as well.
All right, Coach Carl. We still playing too soft. We need a little more nastiness. Tackling needs improvement. I agree completely. Again, like I said earlier, we need to actually make the tackle, not try to strip the ball and get the big play.
I won't disagree with that at all.
God, I guess that. Why do people tackle like? Why is that the way we tackle in football now? It drives me flipping ass crazy.
Cody Stevens, $5. Thank you, Cody. I was seeing flashbacks of last year. Defense getting stops, offense not converting. Absolutely.
Didn't see flashbacks of them blowing the game, though.
Defense last year allowed 54.5% conversions on third down. This is a way better defense.
I think so.
Oh, yeah. Statistics don't lie.
And your stats.
Oh, I love them.
Don't lie.
Jeremy Matthews, $4.99 fried chicken for tomorrow's Sunday dinner.
Absolutely, buddy.
Hey, actually.
Tell you what, man, we came out flat as Hardee's biscuits in the first. But, hey, I'll take some fried chicken to celebrate after this. Ashley Carnes, does anyone know what message Bernard had on his face during the game? Y'all get the chance to get a glimpse of?
I didn't.
Okay, we'll have to go back and review that. Sorry, Ashley, we didn't have the answer. All right, Sosa, baby, I understand, but then drop passes.
It looked like Florida State all over again from the drop passes standpoint. The only one I don't think dropped one was Cuevas. And I could be wrong on that one.
He didn't.
So
now his blocking in the open field was leaving a little bit to be desired at times. But hey,
there was a lot of that tonight.
Yeah, I have my
17-point fourth quarter lead. Texas is 1-0.
I'm telling him, dude.
Yeah, I get a text message saying that Mississippi State just finds ways to lose.
I hate that. I really
do. I do. But they're still a better team than what you saw. I mean, the past couple of years.
I'm joking. I don't hate it at all.
Well, I know you don't, but hey, Jeff Levy's doing some great things now.
No, State's a good ball club. And I laugh. I take that back, actually. I hate it because, man, 17-point lead in the fourth quarter. They are a better team, and you have Texas on the ropes. That sucks. That's a.
But I know we're way off subject, but compared to State's years past, this wouldn't even be a game. But the fact that they're fighting every game and they're actually in it until the end speaks volumes of what Jeff Levy's doing over there. He hasn't quite had the guys to close things out just yet, but year 3 may be a very good one for Levy.
Texas, by the way, 2 weeks in a row, beat Kentucky by 1, and now you come back and
overtime against Texas. I'm against Kentucky and State.
Oh yeah, it was overtime with Kentucky. Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. So Texas just. But to be fair, nighttime for some reason at Kroger Field is a weird place to play.
It is
close games. So,
all right, Don Parker, $5. I know I will catch heat, but thankfully, we didn't need our kicker to decide the game. Don, I'm not going to sit here and act like I was nervous when if Talty was going to be trotted out, because I don't have as much faith as previous kickers in him, but he may get better, and I hope he does get better, but I'm glad we closed out the way we closed out.
Yep, just score a touchdown.
Big Bill from New York, $5. Cuevas is the man. RTR. I also think Caleb Edwards is going to be really good too.
Dude,
Cuevas looks like an NFL tight end. He's a big old dude. He's a big boy. He's got good hands. You want people to get the ball more, but I'm with people. Look, hey, good. I don't want to see a kicker ever. No offense to Talty. I don't care who your name is. I don't care if you're Aubrey at the Dallas Cowboys. I won't just score the damn touchdown.
Very well said.
I don't trust any kicker. I don't trust the best kicker on the planet.
What kicker broke your heart?
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to go there.
Ooh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like a
Jonathan Lou Groza winner, Jonathan Nichols, and then we'll leave it right there.
There we go.
He won the Lou Groza and missed 2 30-yarders, but that's against Nick Saban's. Okay.
I don't know, man. I trust Will Reichert out there. I trust him from 70 yards out.
He missed it He missed one this weekend from about 52, and it came up short. That would have won him the game.
There's
no kicker. Trust Naren. Even that dude with the half foot that kicked for the Saints in the 50s that could kick it like 80 yards. That Dempsey. Yeah. Oh, half foot Dempsey. He kicked it straight every time. I don't trust your ass either, buddy.
But how many times has Will Reichert actually missed? Majority of the time he's money.
I know. I don't trust him though. He missed one the other night.
Wow. Could be the snapper. Could be the person holding. There's too many things to go wrong.
Exactly. So just score the touchdown. You ain't got to worry about none of that shit. All them bastards.
Back to the show. If you're just joining us, Don Parker is throwing some money our way like we're in the club. $10. Yes, South Carolina was one of the worst in the nation in multiple categories. However, this was their Super Bowl against in a sandstorm game. Again, Bama did not play well in all 3 phases.
Yeah, and their homecoming.
So there was a lot going against them. Don Parker, $2. Pettey, I'm still having Scud Norwood nightmares. Care to elaborate there, Pettey?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
I'm good. I don't know. It just sounds funny. I'm going to have to look up Scud. Wait, Kevin Norwood. He's talking about Kevin Norwood and the Bills. I know exactly what he's talking about. The Bills, the Super Bowl against the Giants, right? Norwood wide left. It was 30. Yeah, I know. And the Whitney Houston national anthem. Yeah, exactly. You can't trust them. Again,
I don't watch enough NFL.
Yeah, Jonathan.
You might not have been born yet, Jonathan.
Do what?
You might not have been born yet. This is like how you were young in 89.
I was 4 years old in 89.
Okay. Pettey, like he's the old guy in the room, calls all the young folks Thundercats.
All you kids.
Oh man.
Joe Edwards, when do we start playing well in all 3 phases? Teams will be in trouble. Yeah, absolutely. As we've been saying leading up to here, Alabama has yet to play their best game. I was talking to Ken Darby last night, and he feels that Alabama is going to play arguably their best game in the playoffs. And he said national championship as well. Bold statement by Mr. Darby late last night. I said, hey, Ken, let's beat South Carolina first before we start making bold proclamations. But I like your energy. All right. Thank you to everyone who was a part of the fun just then. Let's go to our final thoughts. Alabama defeats South Carolina, showed some grit and character today. What's your thoughts going forward? If you want to, feel free to give an assessment of the first half of the season as we head into a bye week and those Bayou Bengals on the way. Start us out, Pettey, then we'll go to Jonathan.
Man, just buckle up. Like, we're in this new era of college football where you look around and Vanderbilt won today. They're still going to be in the top 10. So did Ole Miss, Indiana, and Georgia Tech. So it's just take your W's. I think Alabama is still right there in it. After that first week against Florida State, I don't think any of us thought we would be where we are now. So even after a night like tonight, I think, again, ugly win, but I think it was a good win. I think this is one you take into the off week and build on. I think it's a character win. I think this is still the most dangerous program in the SEC. After the mid-year, everybody's kind of had a chance to play everybody and get a gauge at this point, right? Bama's been the one that's gone on the road now to places like Missouri, to Athens, the only place to go to Athens and stop Georgia's offense so far. And now, call it a trap game, call it what you will, call it the legs tired after 4 games. You go on and win an ugly game that just didn't go right, but you still damn won the thing. It's just, I think Bama's the most battle-tested team in the SEC right now, and they've done it again, if you, just the 4 ranked teams in a row, and then this one, I don't care how it is. You just get the W's and move on. So through the mid-year, I think this is the most dangerous team in the SEC still, even after today. But just look around, man. This is a weird-ass league right now with the stuff that's going on. LSU and A&M are in a fight. A&M might be dropping one tonight. So it's just a long ramble of, in this weird era, Alabama's still Alabama. So it is as weird as it is with the Georgia Techs and Indianas of the world. Bama's still right there in the top 10, and I'm very impressed with this team. I feel like I watch as much SEC football as anybody, and as much as everybody's been tested. We're gonna find out a little more about A&M tonight. That's the one last one that that hadn't gone on the road and done it yet. But this Alabama team, man. Darby said it. I'm not ready to crown a national title yet, but can we make a run at a national title? Hell yeah, this team can make a run at a national title.
Jonathan.
My final thoughts are buckle up, because we got 2 ranked opponents coming up after the bye week. This roller coaster ride ain't over, right? We still got the good thing. The good thing I'm going to enjoy is that we got 3 home games in a row, so it's not on the road, right? So who do we have next? LSU, it's Oklahoma,
LSU.
Right? So we got LSU next, which I don't know if they'll still be ranked or not, depending on what happens tonight, obviously. And then Oklahoma, Eastern Illinois is at home, and then at Auburn. But man, up to this point, and I do agree with Sam and a couple others. A&M to me is probably one of the most complete teams I've seen this season. I think Alabama, when they're playing like near their best, they can compete with anybody. When they're playing at their best, I think they can beat anybody, right? So I really do feel that way. But there's still a lot to be desired when it comes to consistency, and by that I mean let's find a run game of some sort. It doesn't need to be pretty, but let's find it a little bit earlier than midway through the 4th quarter, right? So, and let's get Daniel Hill more involved if he's the guy. If he's the dude, Jam Miller and Daniel Hill, then let it be those 2. Hopefully Isaiah Horton gets rested up and back on the field. Hopefully we get Lottie Brooks back here soon. He has the bye week to get ready. So, but I'm just impressed with Alabama this year. I think I'm impressed more than anything with Ty Simpson. I figured he would be good. I just didn't know how good, right? I get it, 5-star and all this good stuff. Doesn't mean anything. We've seen this, right? We've seen the Blake Barnetts of the world. So, but he's really impressed me. I feel like our offensive line from last year to this year has greatly improved, believe it or not. So I'm just excited to where this could lead to, right? So, yeah, some great football still left to be played, though.
Mm-hmm.
I like it that this year, as opposed to the previous year, we're completely bought in on each other and in the coaching staff. You couldn't say that was the case for every game last year, and there are times where arguably we checked out. This team, I feel like, has something to prove, and Ty Simpson, a lot of people didn't believe in him going into this season. Well, they sure do believe now. And I love what he brings, not only in the stat column, but what he brings in terms of leadership. I think that has been the best thing that's happened to Alabama. And it's like we have a Nick Saban and shoulder pads guiding this team. If you hadn't heard him speak, then do yourself a favor and go watch some videos where he is encouraging the team. I like the fact that we can look over to our sidelines now, and we don't see people being quiet or sitting down like they're in a library. They are involved. They're engaged. They're in each other's faces. Completely different. It's not like you're at a wake for a funeral. I am excited to see what adjustments are going to be made the rest of the season. We see the product now. What is Ryan Grubb going to do to kind of retool everything and possibly catch everyone off guard going forward? Yeah, the remainder of our schedule is arguably the most brutal part. You're probably saying, how can you say that? We just did what we did. Hey, LSU, it's always tough regardless of what we see tonight. Then Oklahoma, thank goodness we got them at home. And I fully expect a healed John Mateer to come to Tuscaloosa. If John Mateer is fully healthy and he's on, it's going to be a war. And then we got to go to the Indian Burial Ground and take on the Tigers. And that's always a weird place to play. But I'm excited about the future, and I do believe in this team because they're not a play-ahead team. They're a team that will win at all costs. Now, we've gotten to the very end, and I promise you we'll make it quick because we got to let you get to that game that's on right now. Folks, follow these great guys right here, and they're going to tell you where they can be found. Start as Pettey, then we'll go to Johnathan. And Johnathan, please promote what you got. You got something new that you just threw out for all the fans.
All right, Pettey_Daniel. I'm on the X, and I'm on here Tuesday nights, 7 Central, 6 Central, 7 Eastern.
Pettey versus time zones. Never-ending battle.
For 5 years, and I still just fumble all over my. Yeah, so 6 Central, 7 Eastern, Bama Standard. I'm a dumbass. Wait, A&M.
All right, Johnathan.
So on Jesus, man, on X, you can find me at JLewis85. But no, so just a couple of days ago, me, Coach Carl, and Marvin Constant launched a side venture as well, more Alabama football content from a different perspective for you guys. The name of it's T-Town Media. So that one's going to be live every Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, and every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. So make sure to come check that out. Sunday night's going to be more for content creators, hearing them speaking stuff like that. And Wednesday night's more of let Marvin do his rants and stuff like that, and coach talk X's and O's and get into coach talk. So, yeah.
And there'll be the first Alabama podcast streaming from OnlyFans. Y'all got to go check that out. Hey, but listen, great win. Love the fact that we came out on the right side of things tonight. Let's get to the bye week. Let's heal. Let's rest up. And then get ready for LSU. But that's going to do it for all of us here at the Bama Standard post game. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you're on the other platforms watching, come to our channel. Subscribe to it. Like it. Show us some love. And if you're watching the replay, get in the comment section below and let us know what you think. Also, too, if there was a play or multiple plays tonight that you want to see a little bit more review on, send me an email, justinriley@thebamastandard.com. And what's that do for you folks? Well, if you look at the ticker here on Monday nights at 8:15 p.m. Central, George Teague and his son JT are in the film room, and they've asked that you guys be a part of the show by sending to us the play you want reviewed. So I know that you probably weren't paying close attention to the minute marker, but if you somehow did, please tell me the time in that game so they can go back, they can cut it and paste it and break it down for you. But that's every Monday night at 8:15 p.m. Central on the Bama Standard Network. What better evaluator than an absolute legend? All right, guys. Thank you all for everything. Thank you for the super chats. That is going to do it for all of us here at the Bama Standard postgame show. Check us out next Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central. Yes, my time zones are correct. And we'll see you then. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll down Tide.
Right, Harvey.